Let's do this.
Good morning, everyone, and welcome to CoviDevotion with Beez. I am your host, Beez. And once again, we've changed it up. Okay, you might have noticed that I've taken the headphones off because I was thinking to myself, I can't really hear myself anyway. And I thought, well, why do I have my headphones on? And usually it's this to see what's it called? Good morning, Karen. It's usually to see like to hear if gamers are like they're because I've been watching Twitch and just getting tips and tricks on how to make this setup a bit more professional looking or better, more aesthetically pleasing to people who are wanting to come and watch this. So yeah, but then I thought to myself, I'm not even using the headphones, so but I am there's a lot of notifications jumping in the background or happening in the background when I'm doing this, and so it doesn't come across in the mic and stuff like that. That's what the headphones are there for. So I've taken the headphones off and I feel a bit more freer. Like the mic's still in the way, but anyway, I'm going to go straight. Well, it's too late for me to say I'm going to go straight into it. But the topic today of CoviDevotion for me is, where was God when? And a lot of times I hear this I hear these statements like, where was God when I needed him? Where was God when, where was God when my grandmother died? Where was God when I felt like I lost everything? Where was God when I lost my job? Where was God when someone, broke my heart or cheated on me? Where was God? Where was God? And the idea came to my mind, and it's this reminder that I got from God this morning to say, Beez, when you hear that, what do you respond? How do you respond? Like, what do you say? Where was God? When someone is saying, where was God? And I think to myself, well, who do I know God to be? Who do I know God to be? And so the Bible passage that I'm wanting to highlight today, it's a Bible reference found in the Psalms, Psalm 139. I do declare that my favorite Psalm is 139. I get so much out of it. I love every single portion or stanza in it. And I'm going to read verse 7 and 8. So Psalm 139, verse 7 and 8. And this is who I'm reminded of. No, this is my reminder of who God is to me and who God says he is to the people, to everyone, not just the people he trusts, not just the people he loves. He's saying, this is who I am to everyone. And this is the psalmist crying out to God and asking him the question, or telling him, this is who I know you to be, God. And so it's so the psalmist responds, David goes to God, where can I go from your spirit? Where can I go from your presence? Where can I go from you? Where can I flee from your presence? If I go up to the heavens, you are there. If I make my bed in the depths, you are there. When we ask that question, where was God when? We really need to think about it, and I really need to think about it, because there were tough times. There have been tough times in my life, and there have been times where I've kind of hit the bottom, or like I've really gone through a season where my heart is constantly breaking, and it's not because of someone, but it's just like, or I can just wake up and go through, I guess, a season of sadness. I'm not going to, diagnose it as depression. It could be, I'm not too sure. I've never had it, clinically diagnosed, but there have been seasons in my life where it's like, I've been stripped of energy. I've been stripped of joy. Yesterday, for example, I was driving in the car, and it was on Sunday, and I felt, I actually felt that I woke up and there was my patience had been completely stripped of me. And then I thought, and I think back in my life, and that's when the question, where was God when? Where was God when? And I'm reminded of this passage, and God reminds me this morning, he's like, I'm always there. I was always there. The only difference is, did you know that I was there? And not only did you know that I was there, were you assured that I was there? Did you know me to be there? Right? When I say I'm there, I'm there. And now I trust that he's there. But in the times where I'm like, where was God when? I think the reason personally, and this is me, like I don't want to speak into anyone's life, but I think one of the key reasons where back then I was like, where was God? It's because I didn't really have a relationship with him, or it was in a season of my life where I didn't even ask him or seek him or look to him. And so if I didn't feel his presence, it was because of me, not because of him. There are different passages in the Bible from the very beginning all the way to the very end in Genesis. And I'll say Genesis chapter 1 in verse 2, and it says, and the spirit of God was hovering over the earth, right? Even before the world was created, it said, and there was emptiness and void, and the spirit of God was hovering. What I love about that idea is that and when it comes to emptiness and void, it's not nothing. It's in its original context, and the word was in disarray, and it was in utter confusion and chaos of like emptiness. And it says that the spirit of God was hovering. It was still there. The spirit of God was still there all the way till the very end. In Revelation chapter 3 verse 20, it says, Jesus says, I stand at the door and knock. If you would invite me in and I and you will like, if you invite me in, I will be with you and you will be with me. But I'm standing at the door and knocking. And so when I'm going through some stuff, and if I feel that I'm in disarray, and I ask the question, where is God, or where was God? This passage reminds me, he says, regardless of where you are, the highest of heavens or the deepest depths, I'm there. I'm there. But the question is not where am I or where was I, but why didn't you reach out to me? What was it that stopped you from calling on to me? What stopped you from knowing that I was there? And so there's this, like, I think about this analogy, and I should have put up the, what's it called? I should have put it up on the screen, but it's this photo like of children playing hide and seek, like back in the day, where, like, those not memes but just photos of BuzzFeed or whatever, and it said like photos of children playing hide and seek. And I'm talking like toddlers who think they know how to play, but they don't know how to play, because it's this idea of just because they can't see us, that we're not there. And so there's these photos where these kids are standing, just say their legs, they're standing behind the curtain, just, and they're there. Like, you can see their legs and their hands standing behind the curtain, but just because like their face is covered, they've vanished. They're invisible. There's another one where the kid, in the same kind of, I think it was like a PowerPoint presentation or whatever, kid's got a bucket on his head, and he's standing in the middle of the room with a bucket on his head. And I'm thinking to myself, wow. And it's this idea of, just because I can't see him doesn't mean he's not there. Just because I can't see you, just because you put a bucket over your head, doesn't mean you're invisible now, right? And for me, sometimes that's how I see God, or that's how I see my relationship with God. When I ask the question, when were you there? Or where were you when, right? Do I trust that he was there? Or do I, like, because of my circumstances, just say the bucket itself is my circumstance, I put the bucket over my head and I don't see anything but the circumstance around me, for me to then say, where was God when? God was still there, but I couldn't see anything, and I was invisible to him, or I thought that I was invisible to him because the circumstances were just covering me. I want you to be reminded today through the Psalms, and I'll read it again, that God is always there. But once again, he's there without invitation. And it's only until we invite him in, and only until we invite him and acknowledge him there, that he can be real to us in our space, in our circumstances. It says, where can I go from your spirit? Where can I flee from your presence? If I go to the heavens, you are there. If I make my bed in the depths, you are there. I love the fact that it's all on, it's all this idea of our choice to acknowledge, hey, good morning. It's, oh, sorry about that. I just got disconnected. It's all about our choice and our wanting and our desire to seek him and have him there in our circumstances. More and more, I'm realizing that on Sunday, it's no longer about where was God. It's, I knew that I lacked patience. I knew that I woke up that morning and I was like, I feel that all of my patience and understanding and my compassion has been stripped away from me. I woke up in a really bad mood. I woke up really, not agitated, but I think it was lack of sleep or a lot of stuff. But I knew that it was, I was there. But it's no longer, where was God? I know that God was there. He was hovering. He was standing at the door and knocking. But it didn't take me until maybe lunchtime, before I said, "Hey God, I need you to be with me today. I can't be with these people in traffic. I can't be with these situations. I can't feel this anger, and I need you to be with me." Because in the morning I still felt that. But it wasn't, this thing was, where was God when he was there? Because I know now that he's still there. But it's not until I ask him to be and dwell and ask him to reveal himself, and I acknowledge that I can't, like, that's when it works. That's when I feel God. That's when I know and am reminded of God. When I choose to do that, up until that time, God is still hovering. God will always be there and God will remain there. But what we need to be encouraged about is that if we want him and if we want to feel his presence and we want to get the essence of his spirit, we need to invite him in. We need to seek him out, and we need to seek him diligently. It's now in my life, later on, I can now look back on my life, and even in the deepest parts of my life, I can still acknowledge that he was there and his presence was with me. And like, the more and more and this is the power of the spirit, the more and more I understand, the more and more I see that he was working in the background, and it's only now that I acknowledge that. But back in the day, I was still asking those questions. Where was God when? Where was God when? What I would encourage you today is be proactive with that. If you're going through that season where you're seeking God out, call out to him, seek him out, so you will know where he is, and he will remind you in his promise to say, "I'm always there. I am always here." I hope that you received a blessing. I hope you received a word of encouragement today, to know that you are never too far away from God, that he is always there. Just invite him in. Let's have a word of prayer. Heavenly Father, thank you so much for another great morning. Thank you for the weather, and thank you for the beautiful sunlight. Lord, I just pray that you bless and guide us. Lord, I pray that by the power of your presence and your spirit, that you remind us that you are always there. But it's the invitation that you need, that we need to invite you into our lives, into our hearts daily, so you can, so we can experience and sense and acknowledge your presence. Lord, I pray that we don't wait until tough times and tough circumstances before we seek you out and before we ask you to be with us. But may we take this opportunity every day to start fresh with you, and say, Lord, come into our lives, come into my heart, so I can sense your presence. I can, you can guide me, you can move me, you can transform me and shape me, so I no longer have to ask, where were you when? I pray that you reveal yourself to us and give us a brand new experience of who you are this morning, so we can celebrate you today. I ask this all in your loving name. Amen. Oh, see, why did it pause again? Oh my gosh. So sorry, guys, on Instagram. Thank you for joining me on Instagram Live, Facebook Live, YouTube Live, and Twitch Live. I don't know why I did them all at the same time. But yeah, changed it up again. But hopefully it's working. Hopefully this is new, and this will be the ongoing thing. I hope you have an awesome day. Hey, I'm not a quick promo, but just to raise awareness. I'm on Facebook, YouTube, and Twitch, and also Instagram. So if you've got friends who would, need a word of encouragement each and every morning, please send them my details, or tell them to follow and subscribe. They don't have to like. They just need to follow and subscribe. Anyway, I'm gonna bounce. I just hope that you have a great day. And I will see you tomorrow morning at 9 o'clock. I got to do the schedule thing. I'm here every morning at 9 o'clock, Monday to Friday. So I'll see you tomorrow at 9 o'clock for CoviDevotion with Beez, month 5, week 1, day 3. But until then, please stay safe, stay blessed. Peace out. Much love. Bye.